from this day forward, we're going to stop calling LeBron James the best player in the world.
I predicted before this season began that by the end of the season, LeBron James would no longer be the best player in the world.
Sure.
You have named the top 5 players in the NBA going into next season, and LeBron James is not on the list?
We don't have a 6-person list.
Just stop.
Okay.
What's up, Jam fam? Thank you so much for joining us on the second episode of the Daily Jam. On this episode of the Daily Jam, we're looking at a topic that I saw on First Take about a week ago, where they were saying that LeBron James was still not a top 5 player in the league, which is absolutely ridiculous. LeBron has his first long-term injury of his career, sits out a little bit of the season, and all of a sudden, he's no longer relevant. He's not a top 5 player in the league. Sure, the Lakers had their struggles last year, but really was to be expected. I mean, they had a young team. Lonzo Ball was coming off an injury. They had a bunch of new pieces that was piecemealed together with Rondo and Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee, and trying to integrate that with the young core that they had there in Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, and then you're adding on LeBron James into there. It's going to take some time to get used to. It's going to take some time to gel. And when you add on all those injuries, you're really bound for a tough season, especially in the West. I mean, they had high expectations, but they did underachieve. But still, that doesn't mean that LeBron is no longer a top 5 player in this league. LeBron's coming off a season where he averaged 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists, and shot over 50% from the floor. These are almost identical stats to last year when he was on the Cleveland Cavaliers, and we called him the greatest of all time. We called him the best in the league, best in the planet. But now all of a sudden, for some reason, he gets injured, changes to a new team where he's got guys who aren't hitting shots. He could have easily averaged 10 assists per game if they were knocking down shots. And all of a sudden, he's out of the top 5, not even top 3? Come on now. It was recently reported that LeBron James was going to be playing point guard next year. I don't think this is too much of a difference in the role that he usually plays. He's usually a point forward anyway and initiates the offense and gets everyone involved. And I really think that's what differentiates LeBron from everyone. He can do a little bit of everything. He rebounds, he can score, he gets everyone involved and does it on a night-to-night basis. You know, with LeBron playing point next year, he's essentially the modern-day Magic Johnson. So you lose Magic and you get Magic. So I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron comes out and averages a triple-double next year. I think he's going to be getting more assists with throwing lobs to Anthony Davis. He's got shooters coming all around him who are going to be able to knock down open threes. I don't know why LeBron is getting all this hate. I mean, he's led his teams to 8 straight NBA Finals, and let's be honest, his teams were not always the greatest, especially in those early years in Cleveland. So if we were to compare LeBron stats to Kawhi stats last year, Kawhi averaged less points, less rebounds, way less assists, and shot less from the field. Now, I don't know, you can make the argument that LeBron's team didn't make the playoffs. I think that has more to do with the actual team that he was on. I think the Raptors had a much better team than the Lakers last year. They had much better role players with Siakam, Kyle Lowry, picked up Marcus Gasol, which was a huge pickup during the All-Star break or mid-season. Not to mention Fred VanVleet coming up clutch in the playoffs. This was not a single-man show for the Toronto Raptors, where the Lakers definitely were. You could also make the argument that Kawhi Leonard's best attribute is his defense, and LeBron is no longer a defensive force out there. But I would attribute LeBron's lack of defense last year, 1, to being injured, and I think he truly realized that the Lakers were not a playoff or title contender. But I really expect that to turn around with Anthony Davis coming in and providing that defensive force, and for the Lakers to actually be a title contender. I think that LeBron is going to definitely enforce defense next year. He knows that is essential to winning a championship, and he's going to step it up next year and turn that around. So I definitely see the argument, but there's no way that he's not a top 5 player in the league, and he's definitely a top 3, and I've got him as my number 1 player going into next season. Plus, the NBA 2K rankings just came out, and he's ranked as the best player. And we all know that 2K's ratings don't lie. Alright guys, that's just my opinion. If you disagree, leave your comments and hot takes in the comments below, and let me know what you guys think. Would love to chat about it with you guys. Peace.